Hello, and welcome once again to my Source Vintage YouTube channel. This video is going to be all about the do's and the do nots of haggling, bartering, negotiating in the antiques trade. I'm sure you're aware. If you're not, then I will tell you there's a fine line between insulting and accepting. So I'm just going to go through a few points, and they're my own personal views. I'm a collector, I'm an antiques dealer, and I worked at an antique centre for a number of years. So I'll be going at it from the viewpoint of, a buyer and an antiques dealer selling in the trade. But before I begin, I just want to say a quick shout out to a dear friend of mine who I got a message from recently because he'd seen one of my recent videos. So Adzi, I hope you and your family are well. Let's get a beer together when we can. It'd be awesome to see you. So yeah, all the best to you. Anyway, let's get down to business. There's 4 points, I think, in total today. 4 points that I'm going to go through. So, point number 1. Just remember that every antiques dealer is essentially a small independent business. So, like any business, they will have overheads and costs that need to be covered. For example, if they're in an antique centre, they have cabinet rental that they need to pay, they have a commission fee taken off each item that they sell, and they would have paid the price for the item in the first place, so they'll be factoring all these when they're coming up with their price. If they've got their own shop, the overheads will be a lot more. But certainly in this current environment, with the pandemic, small business has taken a bit of a battering, so let's just support each other and manage those expectations. Don't go in expecting ridiculous discounts. Let's help each other and let's help the economy grow. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is, and this is one of my favourite points, and because of my time working in an antique centre, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But yeah, don't go into an antique shop, antique centre, antique fair, wherever, thinking that you're on one of these antiques TV shows and expecting the ridiculous discounts that in some cases they get on these shows. We all love a bargain. I absolutely love a bargain. And we all love these antique shows. But we need to remember that that's TV. This is the real world. The antique centre I worked at used to host a number of these shows, and the shop used to cover a lot of the big discounts that were given in return for the publicity they got from their shop being shown to millions of viewers around the world on these TV shows. So when you look at it like that, it kind of makes sense. But as a customer, you can't come in to a centre like this one gentleman did. And I'll tell you a quick story. He came in, he'd seen a collectible that he wanted. I think it was priced at about £98. He took me over to the cabinet and he said, I watch bargain and I know how this works. I want this item for £25 and that's my final offer. Yeah, he didn't get it for £25, but let's manage those expectations. We all love a bargain, but you're not going to get a discount of like 80%. Which brings me on nicely to point number 3. Point number 3 is the going rate of discounts at antique shops and centres around the UK. It's generally what I found, it's about 10%. If you ask, you'll get 10%. That's what I've experienced anyway. So go into a negotiation thinking that 10% is the going rate. It's cool. Trade to trade is different. It's just how business works. You will get slightly more. Not in all cases. Every dealer's different. But in most cases, you will get slightly more. I always draw the line at 20%. It's something I've learned over the years. I've had unrealistic expectations in the past, and you learn very quickly. So go into a negotiation thinking, anywhere between 10 to 20%, I'm cool with. If I get over 20%, then I'm skipping out that door. I'm, happy as a pig in poop. But yeah, just keep it in mind. 10% is the going rate for a customer. Trade to trade, anywhere between 10 and 20%. Expecting anything more than 20% is bordering on unfair and unreasonable. So yeah, that's point number 3. Point number 4, and my final point, and this, I think, will serve you well, not only in negotiating in the antiques trade, but in life in general. Be nice. Be respectful. Go into a haggling situation, looking to make a friend. Have a chat. Get to know them, build up a rapport. Antiques dealers love to chat. They love to chat about themselves. They love to chat about their items. So yeah, go into it looking to make a friend, get to know the person, and I'm telling you now, it will get you a lot further than going in aggressively with unrealistic demands. So yeah, that's point number 4. My final point, I hope you've learnt something. I hope this has been enlightening, and I hope this helps you in the future with your negotiating and haggling. I'd like to add that I write a blog every Monday on my website, source-vintage.co.uk. So I write about my favourite finds, places I've visited, and just general trade-related subjects. So if you're into that, pop over there, please subscribe. And at that same website, you will find my shop, where I sell some of my interesting pieces. So pop on over if you're interested, have a look. You might find something that you like. But if you do, and you want to negotiate, just remember the 4 points. Don't forget them. All right? So that's it. Until next time, stay safe. Keep buying those antiques, and I'll probably see some of you at some of these antique shops and fairs when we get out of lockdown. Thanks a lot.